audio. Your audio, I can't hear you. I'll just sing to you. Estas son las mañanitas que cantamos.
Yeah, I didn't put the volume on so you didn't hear the baby crying.
Oh, did you hear me though?
No, I didn't, because I could see that your face was annoying me, so I just was like, I'd rather not have to hear him answer you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Where does this guy hide?
man, this is the most late white dude ever. Like, this dude is always
Not
late.
white.
That just does not fit the stereotype.
He's not white though.
Yeah, they're European, and Eastern European is definitely a different culture.
I'm just gonna practice. I might as well just flow with it.
All right, well, also.
Welcome to Mogul Minds Weekly Update. I'm Luis, coming to you from our headquarters. I hope everyone is washing their hands, wearing gloves and face masks. I'm filming with Isaiah right now from the network, practicing social distancing. He's currently home, and also have Ide with me here today. He's going to be joining us here shortly. Isaiah, how was your week? How are you holding up with all of this?
Well, I am not freaking out because I'm an adult and I can wash my hands. So
Were you washing your hands before all this? I don't think you were.
I really was. That's not people who don't wash their hands. That always was a tweak to me.
Yeah. Makes sense because they're all fucking crazy and eat and shit.
Fuck.
If there was such a thing as like aliens living amongst us, it's Hollywood. It would have to be Hollywood.
I think it would be, it depends on what type of tech and shit, right? Like, what if they could look just like us and walk right past us? You know what I'm saying? They got some decent ass like hologram tech. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't even really change, but we see it as he looks like, I don't know, some Mexican dude or some black dude.
Yeah.
I don't. That's what.
No, yeah, definitely.
Or if they're just on some whole other shit that has nothing to do with us, and they're just cool ass niggas.
I don't think we'll ever find out. I think this is all fucking a joke, man.
I don't think
nothing is this whole Q thing, nothing is gonna come of that. Nothing's gonna come of the other thing. We're just gonna be in one big fuckery. Like,
I think if we allow that to happen, I think that's what it would take. I think that uncertainty is one of the things they want as a control, because I do think that to some degree we shape our reality. The things we think and say become things.
yeah.
So I think that it is, even astrologically, people who are into astrology, they call this the age of Aquarius. In the non-Gregorian calendar, from what I'm seeing, in the non-Gregorian calendar, this is actually 2012. So that's interesting that lines up with the age of Aquarius and the age of enlightenment, where they say the world's going to end. The evil, the world as we know it, is going to end, but the world as we know it is kind of fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm okay with that shit ending. This is good, and if we put enough positive and shit out there, we can fix a lot of this shit. Yeah. And I think now's the time to do it, and that's how we should view it, because otherwise all we're going to do is focus on doom and gloom and take L's, because we're bringing them on, because the universe gives you what you put out into, right? Like, I like this dude Ralph Smart. I share his videos a lot. No, that's weird. Okay, I like this dude Ralph Smart. He is a British dude, black dude. He runs a page called Infinite Waters. He goes viral literally multiple times a day these days, but just about every video. He's got YouTube gold plaques and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But he talked about this whole thing, and I actually shared this in the group chat. You should go back and check out that video. But where he talks about the universe in a very, we are a part of it, it is a part of us type of way. And what we put out into the universe comes back on. And me personally, I believe in speaking things into existence. Like, even if you go back to Blake's first episode with Mogul Minds, he spoke into existence that he was going to get invited to Art Basel. The following year, he got invited to Art Basel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, I moved out of the barbershop into a studio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Started building the studio. So it's like, the things we think and speak become things. So that brings me into a good topic. Since we're already rolling, we might as well keep rolling, right? Positive brainwash, right, is something that I think that we can do to ourselves. I don't think brainwash in and of itself is inherently a bad or good thing. I think the people who actually use it are using it for bad. But
Yeah.
brainwash itself, that sounds like something we need to do. You know what I'm saying?
Positive programming.
Mm-hmm. Same thing. Positive programming, right?
I go to sleep with certain frequencies.
So they say 432 hertz. The different frequencies have different effects on the body. This has been proven scientifically. There was a white guy in like the 30s.
It's all Fibonacci related.
Is Fibonacci his name? The dude in like the 30s who won the Nobel Prize and shit for his research with frequency?
No. Fibonacci is just something that you see in natural law. Have you ever seen like the spiral with the graph and how they compare it to like a shell, and how like the human face is like certain ratios?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, like the symmetry of a person's face and shit like that.
So Fibonacci also works with these frequencies, because there's like I forget where it's like 2 something, then like 430, then like 5 something, then 6, and whatever, so on and so forth. So each one of those is a variable of this Fibonacci thing, I believe. And each of these frequencies really help certain aspects of how your mind works, because your mind, you have right now a field around you, essentially a power source, right? Because you have iron in your blood that's pumping through you. So think about like how a generator works. You're producing some sort of voltage, and it's proven fact that you produce voltage. So therefore, you produce some sort of magnetic field around you.
This is why
you think of auras and shit like that.
Everything that you said is proven. This is why things like copper jewelry is a good thing, because of the way that copper is a conductant, and like you just said, we are a electric based system. The way that we're a power source. The way that we are, right? Copper jewelry. This is why so many different cultures wore copper jewelry too. It helps regulate your blood flow, and I believe helps push out toxins. But either way, we know that it helps regulate your blood flow, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I'm aware of this, and these are things that I study. People can always go back and check out the episode I did with Paige Flowers. We should have 2 up with Paige. Go back and check those out. Those are timeless episodes. Paige is great. Shout out Paige, as always. Anytime we speak her name, we speak praises. She does the same for us. She speaks positivity to Mogul Minds Network all the time. So, we were talking about frequency and positive brainwash. So here's an idea that I had for something that I'm going to do in the studio. And maybe I'll even share it with the listeners at some point if people ever ask for it. I'm writing down like maybe 5 minutes straight of positive affirmations, right? Different things more personal to me, but vague enough where every single person who hears it in the morning, anyone who hears it should just, this is the first thing you should wake up listening to before you get on Facebook or Instagram or any of that other fake shit.
Start your day off.
Right. And then I'm going to put that over some type of mixture of nature sounds and 432 hertz. And I'm going to listen to it every day. And because it's in my voice, I think it'll penetrate deeper into my subconscious. So I have to believe it. You know what I'm saying?
You know, certain what is it called? Certain things make it change the frequency to like 440 hertz or something like that.
What, like compression systems? What are you talking about? The way you're exporting the file?
Yeah, the way that they tune something, I'll send you some information on that. There's also a doctor that shoots frequency resonance frequency into leukemia, and it completely obliterates the leukemia.
Right.
They explode, literally explode. And there was a TED Talks on that, but there's another video that they don't go into, but it's more in depth and it's on different organisms, not just leukemia. So essentially, what you can even do is find the right frequency to kill COVID-19. You can find the right frequency to kill something else. UV light, like how they're saying, UV light is a frequency. UV light is a
Right.
resonance. So
Right.
that is just at
All
a
light.
different
All light
spectrum.
is frequency, right?
Yeah,
Right.
it's a wave. It's a wave pattern.
Right.
And
It's interesting you say that. I'm a big fan of Nikola Tesla. I'm sure I've spoken of him multiple times on this podcast, and that's another reason I don't like Neil deGrasse Tyson, because I don't like the way he tries to shit on Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla did way more than Neil deGrasse Tyson ever. What is Neil? Whatever. That's a whole different
let's not
conversation.
get there. This is just a weekly
But
update.
yes. Nikola Tesla was a true genius. That dude did a lot. And one of the famous quotes of Nikola Tesla is, if you want to understand the universe, think in terms of frequency,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
vibration, frequency, and
Vibrations.
energy.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So that I always thought was dope, but I thought his science was way sicker. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I think had we gone down that path instead of the other route B, which is what was taken 100 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Plus, they
Yeah.
took route B, and this kind of capitalistic, everybody take mentality, all for self mentality. I think a lot of people are starting to wake up to the fact that it doesn't benefit any of us, and the systems just don't work. Like,
Yeah.
we're a few generations into seeing it not work, and a lot of us just are like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, you told everybody go to school, get a job, and then what? I do think that the banking system is changing, though, just based on a lot of different indicators out there. Like, for example, I'm pretty sure they're not like garnishing wages anymore for
Well,
student
yeah.
loans.
Well, I think that's all just temporary right now. But yeah, right now the economic system and the economic status is very volatile and very on the edge of like complete collapse. You know, we're we're recovering, but there's several indicators that say that we're going to go back to when this initially hit. There's 20, 30, how many, 30 million people that don't have jobs, that don't have income. That's all going to run away or like run out soon, right? You're eventually not going to be able to pay people unemployment. So,
And what doesn't make sense to me is that why they print money if the banks are failing. They just print, like, add more digits in a system. It's not these people are attempting to destroy a way of life to push political agenda, because this way of life is controlled by people like that can do these cartels.
yeah,
Now, I think that this has been a way of life for an extremely long time, and I am hopeful that we see the changes at least begin to happen.
yeah.
I hope that we're that generation when we look back on the history books. You know what I'm saying?
I
That's what
think,
I'm hoping
yeah,
for.
this is, yeah, we're getting to that point where it's a very drastic generational handover. Definitely, definitely agree on that. Um, there's a lot of people in Congress and the Senate and politics that are very old as well and have several decades under their belt. And, you know, it's beneficial if, you know, they have to retire, you know, they have to go away. You know, the new generation needs to come in and definitely lead. thank you for your service. Thank you for all the years and hard work. But you need to pass the torch, right?
Yeah,
You've
it's
been,
about that time.
yeah,
But look, power is never given; it's always taken.
yeah. So
So
we're in a very weird situation right now. But did you
it's like
see?
your grandma's holding on to the remote control, but you ain't
Yeah,
watching that shit no more, and you pay all the bills.
did you see the two doctors that were talking about Corona and they took the video down?
Yeah, they're not the only ones. They're taking down videos where people are suggesting vitamin C, IV drips and whatnot too.
Jeez.
Um,
Let's get Ide in here. He just got in, so
yeah, let's get them in here.
nice. So yeah, I mean, that's just a lot of censorship all at once.
Oh, yeah, they're also taking down that video of the White House hot mic.
Which
You
one was
seen
that?
that video?
No,
They're,
Ide, welcome. We're recording.
okay, well, they actually have a video of supposedly two guys. They're taking it down off the internet. I saw the video. One of the interns sent it to me early. And now other people did reviews on it. Joe Rogan even talked about it on his podcast, where there was a video of two guys in the White House cleaning the press room either before or after, I don't know. And the dude's saying something along the lines of, "Take off your mask. You look like an idiot. Didn't you hear? It's all a hoax." And then he said it wasn't a hoax. He was joking, but he did say also that something about they did all the testing in California for the antibodies, and a large majority of people have the antibodies. So the death rate's way, way, way lower than initially thought. And he was just saying, plus all of them got their vaccines anyway. And then but they're taking that video off the internet. I don't know what the reasoning is for that. That's just, I saw the video and they're taking it off the internet. You know
Wow.
what I'm saying?
A lot of censorship.
Yeah, the censorship stuff's getting weird, and that's why I think there's a fight for information going on right now, like information control of information.
Yeah. Ide, welcome. How are you?
I'm good, man. Sorry, guys. I didn't see the invite came through.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We're recording. How was your week?
Oh, man. I'm still at home, working from home. But aside from that, I got a 4-year-old who's
Keeping you
very
busy.
of my time. So,
Yeah,
that's where
good.
my time spent.
You always got to take care of your young king first, but why white people always late?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I can't answer that one for all white people.
So, we were talking about Corona and what we learned about it this week. What can you talk about the ongoing pandemic and what you've seen or what you've read? Anything that comes to light for you this week?
Man, I don't know if you guys touched on it already. Just the fact that the stay at home has been extended till the end of May. We got these protests going on. Actually, today in the Loop, apparently there was a good group of people out there, protesting, saying that, Pritzker is out of bounds on this one. Just.
Well, he is. I understand why a lot of people are scared, but from a law standpoint, they can't really tell you that you have to stay in your house just based on what our inalienable and unalienable rights say as the Constitution is written. And a judge has already ruled against Pritzker's stay-at-home order, which is why you're going to see people choosing to do one or the other. I understand both sides. Look, I'm saying, if you scared, stay in the crib. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to open up no liability,
Well, Illinois is such a huge state. It's very long. So the southern tip of Illinois is a completely different environment than Chicagoland area. So
right.
it's not fair for a central populace that is very densely populated to apply that same reasoning to a town of 1,000. That I don't know if that's necessarily fair. So I think that's the root cause of this, and it's really causing a divide. I don't know how you feel about it, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. I mean, like I was saying earlier, it's the fact that we still have, an increase in cases, the fact that we still have an increase in deaths. I mean, I'm not against the stay-at-home order, and
I don't think
honestly,
it should be mandatory though, right?
but is it? It's like,
That's the
It's
fight.
not mandatory. You just
right,
stay at home, but if you need to get food, you can go outside.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't
Jogging, you
talk to
can go.
people, but if you need to, you can go ahead. We can't go on the roads, but if you need to go to the store, then yeah, go to the store and in your
Right.
car. Like there's like it's not,
Apparently, McDonald's is closed in the UK.
oh wow,
Mm.
I didn't know that.
Ralph Smart actually talked about it in his video because he was like, look at what's closed. More people are going to regular supermarkets and shit like that. And I was like, that is true. And then I realized he wasn't even talking about here when he said McDonald's is closed, but way less people are going. I have to drive past one to get to the studio daily.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
I
way less people.
Did you see the video with the two doctors talking about corona and the effects and the death rates? I don't know if you were able to see it, but it was removed from YouTube and other platforms.
There's multiple different doctors out now, like Dr. Shiva, I think, is one that's doing a lot of press right now. But that one that got taken down, I remember it was two younger white guys. They couldn't have been like, what, more than 45, right?
Yeah. Did you see that one?
No, I don't think I did.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen videos being taken down? Isaiah and I were talking about it before you hopped on.
Yeah. So I mean, I've seen a lot of even just statements being put out about, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, anything that they consider as, misleading or the wrong information regarding COVID-19, that they're actually just, taking it upon themselves to take down any of that content.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, I got
Which is
another one. So for my market junkies at home, Gilead coming out with remdesivir. How do you guys feel about the vaccination? And how do you feel about possibly having to get the vaccination?
just before we move past the censorship, I do want to say, you know, you'll never stop people from expressing their opinions, right? Whether they be
yeah,
true or false.
right.
Now, what I don't appreciate is the fact that these platforms have the power to silence whoever they choose to silence, whether they, you know, the information is true or is false. It doesn't matter. What they should be doing is, saying, "Hey, we deem this page to, as not a credible page," or something along those lines. Don't take that content down, because now we're teetering the line of our constitutional rights, right? It's like,
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
easily say, hey, this person is wrong and here's the reason, and give the facts if that person is wrong. Don't just take down their content.
Right. I would tend to agree, and especially so sweeping as world events change. Like now, they'll take down anything that is not directly in line with what the WHO thinks, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And the weird thing about that is when people are suggesting IV vitamin C, like that, there's no way that that's going to hurt someone. That can only help the situation.
Yeah.
Right.
Why
And
would you
on,
guys
on
be
top of
taking
that, the
stuff?
U.S. Cut funding to who? So how could a U.S. corporation, as far as I'm aware, be like, say we're going to go with an organization that's not even getting U.S. funding?
Bill Gates is paying them. I know Anthony Fauci has multiple doctors out. One doctor, her name's Dr. Judy Miskovitz, I believe. Young Pharaoh interviewed her. She was talking about how Fauci has a history of being a dirty criminal, and the system has just allowed him to get through. They're actually saying, I've been seeing a lot of articles actually, that under the advice of Fauci, Obama ended up funding a project in Wuhan. And I've seen a mainstream news report headlines. I have not gone into the story, but I've seen them from multiple sources. So it's something that can be looked into.
I see. Now,
Yeah, I just read something that Fauci is also being denied from or not being able to testify on stand about some specifics regarding COVID-19. I didn't read the article. I just got the headline real quick before I jumped on the.
No, I didn't
So,
see that. I know that I saw somewhere that he hasn't seen a patient in 20 years or something like along those lines.
yeah.
Which, I mean, it makes sense if you're in political office and you're just dictating policy and administrating certain.
Yeah, that's his job. He's a politician with an MD.
But I mean, certain things change, I think.
I assume he has an MD.
I guess. I don't know. Anyway, back to this Gilead, remdesivir, vaccinations. Let's say, what do you guys think? Is this one passed? Is it good? Is it bad? Do you think that this one's just going to fail and cause even more chaos?
I don't think that. I think in all forms of human life, people should have the freedom to do whatever they choose to or not to do with their body. Somebody wants to eat 100 donuts a day and then kill yourself that way. Hey, boom, go ahead and kill yourself that way. Somebody wants to be plant life only and just be super gaunt and skinny and like you look like you need some protein. Hey, that's your choice. Whatever you want to do that's not directly harming other individuals. Hey, like if you want to do it, you want to turn yourself into a half tiger, half person. Hey, dog, go for it, buddy.
Did you block your microphone? Is your finger on the microphone or something?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, your sound.
There you go.
Your sound quality changed.
I don't know. What about
there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't like having the phone this close to my face. It's weird.
You get to see how you really look, huh?
No,
yes, this is brought to you in part by Mogul Minds.
I forgot. You guys made me lose track of whatever I was saying.
Ide, how do you feel about the vaccination? Do you think it'll be successful?
Look, man, I mean, we have this thing called the FDA, right? And usually the FDA, from what I've heard, they need about a 2 to 3 year span to get it right.
Not even if they're Russian. That's after they've done 5, 6, 7 years of preliminary trials.
Right.
So do you feel that this is just going to be shotgun and just have at it and see how it goes?
Yeah,
I do feel as though they're going to try it if people don't actually stand up and say otherwise.
Ide, how do you feel?
The same, bro. Like I don't understand how. I understand that, you know, it's a scary time and that people are dying, but at the same time, who's really gonna go and be like, yeah, let me get that, you know, I'll be the first one to try this shit out. Like, who's doing this?
Yeah.
You know, even if thousands of people go through with it and it works out for them, I'm still not jumping again.
Have you heard of hydroxychloroquine?
Yeah.
So why is that not being promoted or taunted?
So from my understanding, it's much cheaper to make hydroxychloroquine than it is to create something new where people get multiple large companies, if they want to, get to make a lot of money. Actually, Fauci would make a lot of money if there's a vaccine for this whole thing right now. But the hydroxychloroquine is something that people are taking for, I believe, lupus and a few other things. And what it does is it basically supercharges the oxygenation of your blood. So it's like pumping oxygen into your blood. Like it's opening your blood up to receive more, right?
It oxidizes the virus or something.
Right.
Along those lines?
Something along those lines is the way I heard it from doctors from medical professionals that explained it. So it actually is a good thing, but people who have an invested interest or a conflict of interest are all at play in this whole thing at the same time, and they stand to lose a lot of money if we just go with hydroxychloroquine. Plus, it also makes this guy look like an idiot because a lot of people, they were saying it like it was bleach, or some lunatic ate a bleach tablet that has nothing to do with hydroxychloroquine. If you just Google that person if that is the way that it happened, come on, man. Like, how long was this? How come that? How long was this guy
There's
gonna make
literally warning labels on there saying that it's gonna poison you.
it? How long was this person gonna make it? This is the same as the kids that are eating Tide Pods. And I think it's messed up, but I don't even know how many kids were doing that. You know, like Tide Pods are expensive.
Man, hi,
By
man.
allowed to eat a Tide Pod.
Right. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's crazy.
How do you feel if the government were to say you got to take this remdesivir in order to have any sort of human-to-human contact? How would you feel about that?
I'm not doing it, and I don't see how they'll stop me from, interacting with humans.
So you're not for it? You wouldn't take it, Isaiah? You wouldn't take it either?
I'm not taking it.
No, you can't force me to put chemicals that are unproven because they don't have to test them that long. You can't know the long-term effect. You can't force me to do that. You can't force me to take a medication. Like, if that's like them saying, hey, everybody take Xanax today. You're obligated right now to take Xanax. Like, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It sounds funny when you say it like that, but that's literally what they're saying. You can't do that. Come on. And there's no way we could allow that. Now, if people want to get it, they should make them free. Fuck it. Everybody can go get one. All the jobs should have them. Optional.
Wait, so they're going to force you to have a vaccination and you're going to have to pay for it?
It doesn't matter whether you have to pay. Flu shots are free right now. That shit still hasn't cured the flu. Fuck.
I don't care if it's free. I don't care if they're like.
Yeah, one thing I do agree is just that the level of logic is like just a lot lower than it used to be. Like, it doesn't make a lot of these policies don't make sense to me right now.
No, they don't.
They're trying to get in front of this thing, and at the same time, like Isaiah said, there are cheaper options.
Right.
They would not profit so much, and
that
could potentially have the same benefits. But
I'm hearing hydroxychloroquine, which would kill it, is made at some shit like 7 or 8 cents a pop.
Yeah, I think I read something that the predominant source of it is either India. I believe it's India. And
Trump went over there to India, and to get a secondary supplier, because China's going bye-bye.
And supposedly
he's threatening, what's it called? He's threatening tariffs.
I mean, that's, look, if you're in negotiations and you want the negotiations to go a certain way, then sometimes if you got the leverage, you got to use that leverage, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We may have lost Ide, but before we go, because we're getting close to wrapping things up, real quick, Isaiah, I know that Bill Gates has been taunted left and right. He's definitely a technology guy. Personally, I would take advice from him on a technology question or concern. Not necessarily sure if I would take his advice on health. So how do you feel about him getting the spotlight and giving comment on healthcare or the vaccination or just viruses in general? It's just concerning. How do you feel about that?
So first, I would like to say Bill Gates, people can go back and look at his history, that was known as being a cutthroat businessman, take no prisoners type of, do whatever to get the dollar type of dude. Now, all that being said, this is a new PR thing that he's doing, putting in the news that he's a fucking philanthropist. He's getting sued in, I'm pretty sure, multiple countries, but for sure India, for killing and sterilizing girls.
Is that factual? You have the credentials on that you can show? Or
I can show you an interview where an Indian doctor is like getting interviewed. I can't remember her name right now because I've taken a lot of content out, but I have it backlogged for sure. Actually, I think my dad sent me that one, so it's in WhatsApp.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's getting sued. Like I was reading this on articles, and here's the thing: there's a Google whistleblower. Young Pharaoh actually interviewed him. Somebody sends me a lot of young Pharaoh videos, so I see them. And there's a lot of these young dudes that are out here that are trying to do what they think is right.
Yeah.
And making a lot of money too at the same
Definitely. Definitely.
time. But Bill Gates, so there's a Google whistleblower who did Young Pharaoh's show, and he basically breaks down how they blacklist specific words in searches, so you can't search for things. And he ended up whistleblowing it all potentially cost him his life at a certain point. But now he's like out and doing interviews right now in the public, and a lot of doctors actually are doing interviews too now. Bill Gates was known with Microsoft, looking back on it, right, where he created a computer with obvious cracks and flaws, and then put out in the sphere how to get into the tech world, how to get into the computer with writing viruses, and then sold people an antivirus. So he's used to creating a problem and then profiting off the solution. He's used to it.
Nice.
This is what he does. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not
Why
with
do you
it.
think? Why do you think the general populace follows him, or just they're so mesmerized with him that they're willing to listen to medical advice from him? I would say, and he doesn't even have a doctorate. I don't know if he completed college. He may have one of those honorary degrees where he made a commencement speech and they just tossed him a degree, but.
He hung out on Epstein's island after Epstein was a convicted pedophile.
Well,
or at least he was on the flight records.
Why do you feel that the general population is just so mesmerized and just they're hypnotized by him and they're following along and they want to be compliant?
Celebrity worship.
But he's not really a celebrity per se, Hollywood celebrity.
But okay, so when 4 companies own 90% of the media, and majority of people are watching within that 90%, and like a lot of them are watching a lot of the same stuff. When only 4 companies own it and you're that rich, you pay those 4 companies to show your new PR move. You're trying to rebrand yourself as a philanthropist before people see this massive swindle and degradation of our rights that you're about to pull. Like, what is the purpose?
We were just talking about Bill Gates. We're seeing him more in the spotlight. I was saying how he's not necessarily a healthcare expert, but people are just hypnotized by him and really taking his advice and want to be compliant with what he says. How do you feel about Bill Gates?
Yeah, I don't trust him either. Like, I don't know how else to put it aside from just the straightforward way. Like, like you said, this is not his profession. Why I understand, he's in that realm of potentially profiting off of this, but it's like,
Yeah,
no, he will profit off of it. There's a patent on it, and I'm fairly certain one of his companies.
The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation does a lot of money to a lot of different organizations, but we'll see what he says. I just be cautious out there. Be cautious out there. He's not a doctor. He doesn't have a medical degree. He can give you advice on like technology and microchips and software and all that good stuff, but in regards to human health, like, have some.
The fuck are you talking about, dude?
Have some logic. Like, come on.
Nah, son.
He has a lot of money, yeah, correct. But I'd rather listen to a doctor who just got out of med school than Bill Gates. I'm sorry.
Yeah, or like a proven track record of helping people, which Fauci does not have.
Yeah.
Like this guy, like, but either way, look, people stand to profit from this vaccine that is being made. Fine, if people want it, make it free for people if they want it, but you shouldn't be able to tell me I have to get it.
Yeah,
the fuck out of here with that
that's
shit.
pretty.
Like,
That's against a lot of things that this country is based on, and it's very eye-opening to see the fabric kind of starting to unravel you know, a lot of freedoms have been taken away overnight, and you know, people are starting to get restless. You're seeing that a lot here in Illinois, right? The governor was sued, and you know, the judge upheld the lawsuit, and the what was the mayor down south was up his lawsuit was upheld. So,
Yep.
and you're seeing the protest. You mentioned that as well, but you're seeing that throughout the country, not just in Chicagoland area.
Right.
You know, people have a right to work. You know, people have a right to be life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right?
People have a right to do whatever they want to do that doesn't harm another person directly.
Yeah. And, you know, you have to come to the point and the conclusion of realizing the danger that is out there, right? And if you've been at home for 6 weeks and you haven't died, you more than likely don't have the virus. If your
Or
neighbor,
you built up the proper antibodies.
Right.
okay, yeah. If your neighbor as well, and you have seen him through the window, him or her, and they haven't died, chances are they don't have the virus, right? So to what degree are we going to just start saying, like, let's just go outside, right? Let's just go to work. Let's, you know, be a little cautious, but let's move forward, right? We can't just be sitting ducks.
It's funny you say that, because we as a media company, right, we have legitimate reason to be out in the street.
Yeah,
But
and look, boom, boom, boom.
Hey.
Hey.
hey,
I got it.
it wasn't even you know what's crazy is it wasn't even delayed. My response was just delayed.
You could have just blamed it on Zoom, man. You could have.
Nah, I wanted it to be known. I live my life transparently.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but no, I mean, like, as far as, you know, when can we start going back out? When can we start resuming life per usual? It's like,
Bro, right now. Like, what you
no,
talking about? People got rights, bro. If you ain't scared, go
at the
outside.
same time, we cannot act like people are not dying from this, right? So it's like,
People are definitely dying.
okay, now, do I believe all the numbers and everything? No, because they themselves have said that any death right now is pretty much being considered a COVID-19 death. So
Right.
are the numbers skewed? Yes. But I still think that until we see that curve flattening and until we start seeing these numbers decreasing, although they are somewhat false, and even on our government and the record keepers, like, why are we marking all these deaths that are not COVID-19 related as COVID-19 related? How are we ever going to know what the true scale of this thing is? So
We won't unless we push back and look for transparent legislation, because
right.
they're playing a lot of games and a lot of money's being made and tossed around, and a lot cheaper options that are better, actually. And I don't care if it's okay, the media is on whatever they're on with Trump, right? I don't care.
Yeah.
But if this man says something that's a good idea, and it's an idea that can save a lot of lives, and it's cost effective, why would you shit on that in the media if you want what's best for the people?
Oh yeah, Trump's the bad guy, so it's like they're gonna do that easy with him. But yeah, I agree, man. We just need to. I think that's the cool thing about these protests too. It's like, all right, we might not necessarily get these stay-at-home things lifted, but it's like just the fact that they feel the pressure from the people. I think it'll keep them on their toes.
Yeah. And the media themselves, they've been caught on a few occasions just within this entire pandemic of using false footage, or, you know, just not the right corresponding footage for the place. Like they would say the hospital in Cleveland, Ohio, or something like that, and it was the Italian hospital.
Yeah,
Something like that. So
they did one with a Netflix.
And what's really bothering is that they don't get fined. They just get a little note in a little letter in the mail. It says, "Hey, stop that. We noticed that you did this. Don't do that." And
but we get shut down if we did some shit like that where they're like, "Oh, this is fine."
Yeah, it's not like they say, "Hey, you know what? And because of that, we are going to put Mogul Minds in the time slot, in prime time slot, right? You fucked up.
Right.
Oh, Mogul Minds is going to take 30 minutes of your airtime. No, they'll never do that, right? So
No.
that's so BS. And we just sit here, right? We just sit here,
Right.
and we just turn it back on, and we're like, oh, okay, well, maybe this one is real, like, be cautious right now with everything that you read or see, and make sure that you verify it with multiple sources, I would say.
Facts, man. Facebook,
It's
those are not
important.
good. Huh?
It's important to look at independent media and what they're saying, because at the end of the day, in big money media, there's going to be money tossed around. And if something looks bad for my company and I have all of the money to pay the people that are doing the PR, boom, make sure this shit don't come out.
Right.
All right, like, it's not that difficult. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of things get printed and a lot of court documents get thrown around, and independent media finds a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
But because Google and or YouTube is pushing, Google owns YouTube. So for like people who didn't know that. So don't think that you're getting different information, because a lot of people make jokes like, oh, where'd you learn that? YouTube? Okay, if I Google it and read the PDF on the state website, would that suffice? Yes. Okay. Like, but if I did both and they just verified each other, then
Yeah.
but I don't know. People like just need to know how it works. You're never going to page 2 of YouTube. And as long as they just push your video, even if you search by upload date and you want to see the first thing, like maybe you'll get closer, but you still don't even get there. They push you down in the algorithm. Or if they can't, they, no matter what, put a little icon bar that doesn't go away that links you usually to Encyclopedia Britannica or Wikipedia that says some counter narrative.
Yeah.
Right.
We got.
I was seeing Wikipedia prior to recently.
All right. Any last comments? We got a couple minutes before we wrap it up.
Man, just everybody stay safe, man. Just I get asked, like, if I'm stressing over this shit, or if I'm worried about it or whatnot. And it's like,
You sound worried.
Huh?
You sound worried. If you're scared, stay at home.
Go to church. And, no, but it's like anything that's
shots fired.
beyond my control.
Virtual shots.
Like, I have no
warriors
control over this thing, and it's like, for me to even stress it or think too much about it, it doesn't make sense. You're just gonna end up causing yourself more harm, whether that be mentally, and then in turn it'll be physically as well. So I would just tell the people, just stay safe, man. Just don't think about it too much. Keep yourself safe however you can, and let God be God, man.
A lot of people are suggesting too. Apparently, if you really just want to overcharge on vitamin C, there's no negative that can really happen outside of hydrogen peroxide buildup, right? And
Right.
isn't that what happens? And isn't that good because it would just clean you out? Like,
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure like you can't OD on vitamin C. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
right.
Yeah, I think you just start digesting it.
Yeah, I'm not a medical professional, and I wasn't giving no medical advice. I was just talking about videos I've seen on the internet.
I heard there was a doctor. He did it live. I saw it maybe about a week ago, and he was talking about that, like zinc tablets. Like, you can buy them; they're readily available.
A lot of doctors are saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also what is it? Tonic water, like zinc with tonic water.
I've been hearing more. I haven't been hearing about the tonic water. That's probably more of a suggestion, but on how it breaks down the zinc.
So, right. Yeah. Exactly.
Isaiah, your finger. What are the network updates, Isaiah? I don't know. It sounds different, but what's going on with the network and what are you looking at?
We're going to be taking a hiatus. We'll continue with weekly updates, but we're going to be taking a hiatus from doing video. We're going to be backlogging some stuff, getting a lot of stuff out. We're still going to be looking to share. We're going to be sharing memes. We're going to be active with conversations across the different social medias. Our Twitter's been moving up consistently. Luis was showing me the numbers there. Ham, Steve, and I sometimes, rarely it's me, it's usually him and Steve on Twitter. Mine is predominantly on the Facebook, on the Mogul Minds Facebook. Sometimes I hop in there. The Instagram, we've been dry, but I have been trying to keep up with the memes, and at least weekly. And I'm looking to come back with and start doing some Throwback Thursday footage for Thursday drops, just to show you some of the highlights from some of our older episodes that you guys may have missed, especially for, you know, some of our newer listeners or first-time listeners. We're going to start to throw some of that up. So definitely follow us on Facebook at Mogul Minds Network, on Instagram at MMPN3_. You guys will see either what looks like the Chicago flag, it'll say Mogul Minds, or you'll see the Chicago skyline. I'm sorry, the Chicago skyline.
Look behind Luis. That's what you'll see.
Oh yeah, it's right behind Luis. Boom! You guys will either see that or the brain with the headphones.
What did
like
you do? Your audio
just cleared up.
What?
Your sound just cleared up. So whatever you just moved, that's what was the problem.
Bro, I didn't. I'm telling you guys, I didn't do anything.
Oh, great! No,
Probably my phone is
you probably got low connection. Anyway, Ide, what do you got going on with on your end? We got about 2 minutes.
Man, same thing. You know, just tune in. You know, all the social media platforms. You know, we're gonna be continuing these conversations that we're having on here through our weekly updates. But you know, we're also very regular on our social media platforms. So tap in there with us. Steve and I are also working on getting the Kodak up and running. So probably after this hiatus, we'll probably come back strong with the Kodak and everything else. So, you know, just stay tuned.
It shouldn't be more than 6 weeks, we're thinking.
What's up?
Shouldn't be more than 6
All
weeks,
right.
but we are going to continue with weekly updates and everything.
We'll have weekly updates.
Audio.
With Mogul Minds. We got about 30 seconds left with your weekly update. Thank you for tuning in. I'm at the headquarters. I can drive around now, so that's why I thought I'm gonna clean up the place and get it nice and ready for once we're back to normal. So thank you for stopping in and listening in, and you know, check us out on all social media platforms. You know, appreciate it, and give us a like and give us a follow. So thank you, and
thank you.